Welcome back to another Top of the List review. My name's RB. That's Dom. We're back here at Top of the List headquarters. Hope you had a very happy, joyous holiday season and wishing you a happy, healthy new year as well. We're back with a few film reviews coming at you. Of course, right around the holidays, we had some great films coming out on multiple streaming services, but we're going to kick it off with Disney Pixar's Soul, of course, on the streaming service Disney+. Dom, I know both you and I really were excited about this film. We both watched it either on Christmas Day when it came out or the day after. I really enjoyed this film. What were your thoughts on this film?
Yeah, I was really excited to see this one. I think we had talked before in one of our Pixar episodes. We never finished that series, but we did do like the first few Pixar movies, and we talked about how Pete Docter, the director of this one, he does a really great job, especially in his films. Inside Out and Up, I think, were his main credits. He might have been on a few other ones, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. But so I was excited to see what he could do in this one. And we had Jamie Foxx playing our main character. We have Tina Fey in this one as well. I remember you mentioned Daveed Diggs makes a short appearance.
Yep.
And, you know, I was expecting a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
You know, an Inside-Out caliber film. Mm-hmm. And for me, this did not reach the highs of Inside Out, did not reach the highs of Up, or other comparable Pixar movies, you know, Toy Story. It's not that level. It is a great movie, though.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. It is a great movie. Did not reach the highs of even, you know, a few of their most recent films, especially I think Onward was a better film than this one.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know that I agree per se, but our scores vary, definitely in our Pixar series. I would put this at the level of like Onward or a Toy Story 2. Or an Up even. I give this one about an 8.5 out of 10. So that's going to be my score. Definitely a great film, but you're right. It didn't live up. Inside Out, I think, is the creme de la creme, so to speak, of Disney Pixar films. And I even rewatched Inside Out before this film because it looked to be somewhat similar. But I really enjoyed this film. Didn't expect where they were going with this film. You know, it completely took a different turn than what I expected from the trailers, and I think it was all for the best. I think this is probably about the point where we should say spoiler warning. We're going to start going into specifics with this film, so those of you who haven't watched Soul yet, go ahead and click pause. Go ahead and subscribe to Disney Plus if you haven't yet, or log into your Disney Plus. Watch Soul, definitely a must-watch. For me, probably one of my favorite films of 2020. So go ahead and go watch that. And we're going to be dropping some spoilers now and letting you know more in depth what our thoughts were on the film.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned, you know, films of 2020. Not sure this one, we're going to do a video with our top 5 films of 2020. Not sure if this one will make the cut for me. If so, it would maybe be at a 6.5, you know, around that level of, maybe you can grab the TV.
Yeah, I got it.
But, yeah, so I think that I'm going to give it the same score as Ryan, 8.5 out of 10. But notably, a film I thought that I enjoyed better, a Pixar film I enjoyed better, Coco. I enjoyed tenfold better than this.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. Coco is up there with Inside Out for me. I would not put this on the level of Coco, although I did really enjoy the music in this film, which Coco, you know, I think was a major point as well. I think they missed out on an opportunity in this film to provide more music. I'm a big jazz guy. I played jazz trombone for a little bit of my life. So I was hoping for a little bit more music in this film that I thought was a missed opportunity that maybe would have put it at a 9 or a 10 for me. But overall, let's talk story a little bit.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the story of this film? Because I personally, like I said, didn't expect where they were going at all. You know, I knew from the trailers that this guy gets a chance at his big break, you know, is in an accident, and then he has sort of this like separation from his body and soul.
Right.
But the way it started off, where he falls and there he is, you know, he's a soul headed into the great beyond, as they call it. That kind of took me by surprise.
And it was the placement of these pivotal moments that made this an 8.5 out of 10 for me. There's a few left turns in this one that surprised me. Number one is we have a really long extended sequence that is before we get the title card of the film. And we get the title card of the film when he falls down the hole, and that's at the beginning of the movie. I thought maybe that would come later.
Right, yeah.
And then we spent a good part of that, end of the first act talking, or not talking, but existing in this, extraterrestrial, supernatural realm.
Right.
I forget what they call it.
The great beyond, and then the great before.
The great before. Yeah, and I think that was where the film shined possibly the most. Now, these supernatural beings, I did not like the design. How'd you feel about the design of these supernatural beings? They kind of look like a third grader drew them, or...
I liked them. I thought they were very interesting because they sort of explain that. I'm just a way that, I don't actually look like this, but this is just a way for your brain to comprehend,
some of the primitive nature.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
I sort of like that. Even when they go into the explanation of it, she, sort of goes into her actual form, and you see that, and then deforms, I guess, back into the drawing. I liked it. Almost like the drawings reminded me very much of like a Woodstock from the Peanuts.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. I like that. And I think Tina Fey as number 22, as Soul 22, she is really good in this movie.
I think she shined in this film.
Yeah, I think she even did maybe a little bit better than Jamie Foxx as the main character, although Jamie Foxx was also great.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I had no idea Tina Fey was in this film, and I had no idea it was Tina Fey in this film, because it's sort of out of character for her. You watch, I'm a big comedy fan, like Tina Fey, Amy Poehler film. Typically, it's like Amy Poehler is the crazy one, and Tina Fey is sort of the more, down-to-earth, sensible one. So seeing her in this role of sort of this bratty, soul who's, never been able to get her ticket punched to earth.
Yeah.
I was curious to see how she pulled it off, and I think she did an excellent job.
Yeah, and that kind of leads me into one of my positives, but also negatives. One of the funniest moments in the movie is her talking about all these famous people that have been her mentor before.
Without a doubt.
And then, seeing like, it was Albert Einstein, Abraham Lincoln, all these famous people. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head, but I thought that was one of the funniest parts of the movie, and her dynamic in, when they're going through that, hall of everything, where they're kind of looking at what her purpose could be. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a great sequence. But to me, where this one missed out is there wasn't that many funny moments. If you look at a film by Pete Docter, Inside Out, that is a film where it hits you with the emotions and the laughs at the same time, and it's consistent throughout the movie. In this one, there's some laughs. Some of them for me did not hit. The guy that is kind of trying to track him down.
Right, the accountant.
The accountant. He was kind of flat for me. I didn't think that his jokes really hit that well.
I hear you loud and clear. Yeah, and I didn't think about that when I was watching this movie. But yeah, that's what was missing from making this like a 10 out of 10 to me, was the lack of comedy. Even when you think of like a more serious Disney Pixar film, like Coco, there's some great comedy with what's his name? The one who ends up actually being his dad in Coco.
I can't remember.
Okay, well, yeah, our main, supporting character. There's some great comedy with him. You're right. This film went really, really serious, and it missed out on the comedy. You're right. Yeah. The funniest sequences were when we kept on. So I think the one that stuck out with me was Copernicus, where he said, "The world does not revolve around you," and that I thought that was hilarious.
And maybe we should talk about, for me, what the other left turn was, is that he achieves his dream early on, but we still have a third act after that, which I thought was really great. For most of the second act, our drive is for him, he's stuck in the cat's body, and she's in his body, and they're trying to get to this, jazz audition not an audition, but this live performance. He finally gets his big break. He needs to get there, but, there's these hurdles in his way. And she's learning about the world. Tina Fey, Soul 22, is learning about the world in his body. Lots of great comedy there. Maybe not a lot of comedy, but a lot of great situational
humor.
Story beats. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I will say, though, I think I really enjoyed the portions of this film where we are in whatever you want to call it, the celestial plane, or whatever you want to call that, which were acts 1 and 3. I felt act 2, where, she's in his body and he's in the cat's body, kind of fell flat for me.
Okay.
I felt like this was the part of the film that I wish there was more comedy. Because you're right, it was situational humor, but like when she's going on the rant at the barber shop, most of that is cutscenes. We don't even get to hear, what she's saying, what, crazy things she's saying in his body, which I would have preferred, definitely. And like I said, too, one of my major picks, we talked about it with Hamilton. We're huge Daveed Diggs fans. Daveed Diggs was sort of, when you read, the synopsis of this film before it came out, they played it as the main character's nemesis. And he had like 4 lines. I felt like they could have utilized him as sort of a, as a antagonist in this sequence, sort of giving it to Soul 22 in our main character's body. But we really missed out on that opportunity as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And then we get to, that kind of hippie guy that does the science stuff, and he is able to successfully get them out of their bodies, right? And, or at least, wait, what happens at that part? No, he's going through the subway, right? And he like almost dies.
Yeah, because he wants the hippie guy gets him in front of the theater to change their body, but Soul 22 doesn't want to leave.
Right.
And they go running, but the accountant catches them, and they run through the plane and get back into the main celestial plane area, which is where they're both souls again, and he sort of has his a not nice moment, so to speak, is dejecting of Soul 22, that you just got that ticket because you were in my body.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. And then he makes it back to his audition, and he plays, and he's able to stand up for himself in front of I can't remember what her name was, the main jazz music.
Right. Yeah, the one he's going to play for, who gives him his big break at the beginning of this film.
Exactly. And he gets his big break, and he plays. And then for me, this is where the film kind of hit good. I was wondering if they were going to be able to reach the emotional highs. Inside Out, I'm not going to lie, I was crying.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt, yeah.
This one, I didn't cry, but there was some emotions I did feel, especially when he goes like in the zone, and he's kind of like debating about what is really my purpose. If this is all, that this is all, is that it? I played, I reached my dream, but I still don't feel as great as I thought I would be.
Right.
And I think that's something we can all relate to, and I think that was really hit home for me there. And that he's playing the piano and he gets in the zone, and I thought the cinematography really pulled through on that.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. I thought that whole idea of putting human beings having their souls in the zone, in the same area where souls are being created, to create new life, and souls that are passing on are going to the great beyond. I thought it was a brilliant, groundbreaking idea that I had never would have fathomed or thought of, but I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we kind of get this, I think that the great emotional punch was when he finally goes and he rescues 22, because she's in that gloomy state where people have kind of
the lost soul state. Or wandering soul. Yeah.
Yeah, and he goes and he rescues her and he saves her, and he basically teaches. It's not about like that final, they have that personality, but which was another smart idea. The personalities coming together.
Yes.
And the little tiny ones are going through, and it's like, oh, this one's going to be excitable, this one's going to be angry, whatever. So I think that was kind of like playing on that Inside Out kind of thing.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
And then we get to him. She kind of fills out her last bubble. It wasn't him or her being in his body, where I guess it kind of was, but it was just that the last bubble isn't your spark. It isn't your purpose. It's your just want to live.
Right, exactly. It's your want to exist on Earth. And that was something that I thought was really powerful at this film. And that's why I gave this film, even though, like I said, the whole second act really fell flat for me, not a 7 or a 7.5, but an 8.5, because I thought the meaning behind this movie was powerful. And that's what I really loved about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So 8.5 for me, 8.5 for you as well. Definitely not just a great film, but a really great film.
Yep.
Not that 9 or above amazing, but really great. The music, I think, was good, but like you said, underused. I think that
a film about jazz, I felt like they could have done a lot more with it. Maybe it's also because, and I'm a little biased here as a horn player, as a trombone player, that they went jazz piano heavy, and I'm a big, jazz quartet, bass, trombone, trumpet, saxophone. I definitely think they could have utilized the music a lot more like they did in like a Coco.
Yeah, absolutely. Which, Coco had some of the best music of the year when that film came out.
Without a doubt. I've listened to that soundtrack over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Soul, guys, definitely 8.5 out of 10. That's where we would rank it. was at the top of our list, and we'll let you guys know. Maybe Ryan has it in his top 5 at 2020. Maybe it makes my top 5. We still got to kind of do some research, figure out which movies are contending for top 2020. You know, because it's been a weird year.
It's been a really weird year. But guys, you know, just because we said 8.5 out of 10 on Soul, you know, go ahead and leave us a comment, or you know, find us on social media. Let us know what you thought of Soul. Of course, you can find Dominic on Instagram and Twitter at Dom Gonzalez, DOMGONZALES 48. You can find me on Instagram at RB_the_SID, or on Twitter at RB with the call. Feel free to give us a follow, leave us a message, or go ahead and just comment on this video. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. For those of you listening on any of our podcast services, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, be sure to give us a 5-star review. Also, Spotify. Dom, you want to take us out?
Yeah, that's great. Maybe just a few things to look forward to. We're dropping Soul today, as well as Wonder Woman 84. A very interesting review. A lot to talk about that there. So if you're watching this video, that one is also on our channel and on our podcast service. So go watch that one as well. Check that one out. A lot of interesting things to talk about. And then to close out 2020, we're going to do our top 5 movies of the year, as well as a special presentation for, I don't want to say which movie it is, but it's celebrating an annual, you know, anniversary. Let's say that a 2020 anniversary movie. We want to get that in before the new year, and then looking forward to 2021. We're gonna do now that we're gonna do our Wonder Woman review. Definitely gonna do DC Extended Universe ranking list, top of the list style. So look forward to that, as well as maybe. What's the one you wanted
Safety,
to watch?
yeah. Disney Plus original film Safety, and you know, there with pandemic still going on, I'm sure we'll get some more feature film drops that we'll be excited to review for you for the end of 2020, which we have 2 days left, and then 2021. So thanks for watching all year, guys. We'll be back very soon for a few more videos.
Hey guys.